be finished. Depending on that mold or that bone continue to move forward, there'll be some height increase.
Okay, all right.
I'm being serious. I mean, you probably thinking it's not true, but that's true.
No, I believe you.
Yeah, the bone is
I
still
believe you. I believe you
Yeah.
100%. Tell me about the Constitution Day presentation, how that came about.
It came about simply because of getting students in American history. I realized they didn't know too much about our country's history. So pretty much I decided to try to correct that a little bit, lack of a better word, or decided that I should do something about it. So that's why I came about, to be honest with you.
Well, what did you find the most surprising during your research with the Constitution as history? Was there anything in particular that you didn't know or that you thought was particularly interesting?
Well, most things I knew, but I'm still amazed that it was a process. It wasn't boom, it happened after the Revolutionary War. So the process it took, a really understandable process, because these colleges were not experts in constitution making. So it's a process that it took. So that's what really amazed me more than anything.
Okay. What I found interesting in your presentation are the various proposals concerning the powers of the president. And how do you feel America's concern about monarchy in England shape their vision of the president's role in governance?
Well, initially it shaped it where they didn't trust a single person. But in their state constitution, some of the states eliminated the position of executive or governor. By the time the convention came along, they had grown away from that thinking. The one person didn't scare them as much. I think it had to do somewhat to how the state constitution was created and giving all that power, most of them, to the legislative branch, and realize you still can abuse power where one person or not. So a lot of the state constitution or some of the legislative really abused some of the powers they were given to them.
Is there any particular misunderstanding that you think most people have about the Constitution?
I don't know about misunderstanding. They just don't know about it.
They just don't know what's in it.
Just don't know what's in it. Most people just are clueless when it comes to this great document, which is remarkable considering their past. Again, have no expertise in this constitution making on the British traditions, on written stuff, and for them to venture out and create their own. Pretty much when they start creating the state constitution, of course, before the Declaration was written, the state's constitution pretty much guaranteed or their declaration of independence when they created the state constitution, and that's remarkable in itself. So it just surprised me is this how they achieve what they achieve, considering they're not experts at this writing document how to form a government. So that's
right,
amazing.
With nothing really to go by, they really had to kind of put that together from scratch.
Yes.
So yeah, you had mentioned that you had admiration for particular founding fathers. Do you have a favorite, and why would it be that favorite?
Alexander Hamilton.
And why is that?
He's ambitious, but not only that, he's not from his country, from the St. Croix, I think, Virgin Islands, and bastard child and everything, and educated, and he's going to mold our country where it is today. He will serve in the Revolutionary War and serve in our government, first cabinet in our government under Washington. He became the Secretary of Treasury, which at that time the second most powerful man, not the Vice President. Hamilton was the second most powerful man in the world besides after George Washington. So he shaped our economic policy to put on solid economic footing, and also the presidency he helped shape and mold that. He agreed with James Wilson about that single executive, but after the Constitution Committee, he really saw a vision of what the president should serve, and he pretty much had a strong influence on Washington. And that's when reading Jefferson later will resign from the cabinet because of Hamilton influence on Washington. Hamilton would have more influence on Washington than he would. So
Than Jefferson.
yeah. So, in other words, we live in a Hamiltonian society in terms of our economic situation and our presidency. So he really have put his stamp on this country, but unfortunately, most people don't know about him. Okay, so yeah, I really have a lot of admiration for him. Although a lot of people don't like him, they hate. There's a lot of people that he's very verbose in writing. He's egotistical to a certain point. So, but I like him.
This is a question you got thrown during the actual presentation that you gave. But so you often refer to the Revolutionary War as the first Civil War.
Yes.
And can you explain why you view it that way?
Simply, it was the first Civil War of our nation's history. The colonies were not Americans; they were British subjects rebelling against their government. So on that scale, it was a Civil War. Also, locally, it was a Civil War. In terms of, and particularly in South Carolina, where you have a lot of the loyalist militias fighting with the British, many of them Scots Irish fighting against patriots in South Carolina. So different fronts is all over. It was a Civil War and a World War all into one. Also a World War because you have different people fighting: the German Haitians, the Netherlands, French, Spanish. Native American, African American was the slaves, and other stuff. So everyone got involved. So Civil War / World War into one.
Well, okay. Wrapping this up, you've already kind of covered this a little bit, but is there anything else you could say why you feel that it's an important field of study to examine the shaping of the Constitution?
Yeah, it's very important because once you learn it, you will grow more appreciation for the country. You have this feeling that you have to live up to something once you study it, and that's why it's important. And once I think generations lose sight of that, I think we begin to lose gradually our society. That's why I'm afraid of more than anything. You don't know your history, then I think you.
Doomed to repeat it, as they say.
Well, doomed to repeat it or doomed to fail. And I don't believe history repeats itself. I think man repeats history. If you don't know it, you're going to continue to repeat it. So I just think it's very important to learn to have more appreciation of our country. And when you have more appreciation, you have to keep educating everyone. We just don't know too much about our country, most Americans, 99.9%. That's scary fact, man. It's real scary.
All right, that's good. I appreciate it.